Hey, it's Mandy, and I know it's hot outside, but Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa in Tyler is bringing the holiday cheer with Christmas in July. You know I go to Hand and Stone to relax, recharge, and just take a little time for me. Whether it's a massage or a facial, it's the gift I give myself, and I always leave feeling better. And this month, they are making it easy to share that feeling. During their Christmas in July event, guests can purchase two services at member pricing. That's right, even if you're not a member. And if you are a member, you'll get $10 off service gift cards. So whether you're shopping for someone else or grabbing a little self care for yourself, now is the time. Visit handandstonetyler.com or stop by in person at the Cumberland Shopping Center and take advantage of Christmas in July before it's gone.
Welcome to the Celebrating Women podcast, hosted by Mandee Montana, a podcast that celebrates women, their stories, their struggles, and ability to overcome. Conversations that celebrate their gifts, their talents, and courage. It's the Celebrating Women podcast, presented by Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa in Tyler, Texas. With over 20 massage therapists and 6 estheticians certified and trained in multiple protocols, you can get an affordable massage or facial located right here in the East Texas area. Book your appointment today. Stop by the spa in the Cumberland Shopping Center in Tyler or online at handandstonetyler.com. Welcome back to the Celebrating Women podcast. I'm Mandee Montana, and doing something a little bit different today. I am actually podcasting from my home studio. So this is totally different. Normally, I am in the studio on Chase Drive. Love it there. It's super cozy. It is one of my favorite spaces in the whole wide world. But it's summertime, and I'm having to pivot because I'm headed out of town tomorrow and I got to knock it out in the home studio. So you've probably had instances like this too, where you've had to pivot, right? And last week we talked a lot about that. We talked about kind of taking an evaluation mid-year of where you're at. And sometimes you got to take a hard pivot. And that's exactly where I am at this time in my life. So for the last 7 months, I have been in a professional role outside of my podcasting as a technology consultant. And I loved my time doing that. However, I realized several months in that I was not crushing this role in a way that I felt comfortable with. I've been very fortunate throughout my adult life in that my profession and in my day-to-day career, I have felt very successful most days. I have felt very confident in what I was doing. I loved my time on the radio as an on-air personality. I was able to step into that early in my life at the age of 18 when I was still a senior in high school. And so I was able to develop confidence through that into my adult life. And I really, really loved it. It brought me so much joy. I got to have a lot of really amazing experiences and meet some really cool people. And someday I'll have to put that all down like in a giant list. I'll have to get reflective and maybe do a whole podcast episode on the crazy adventures that I had in radio. But for this week, what I want to tell you is that I stepped outside of my comfort zone back in December and took on this new role and worked for an incredible company, a company that has been in East Texas for 40 plus years. And they do an amazing job of taking care of local businesses and their IT department. The best engineers, huge team, just incredible staff, great local ownership, great leadership. I mean, just really wonderful people. And I was so excited to go to work there and take on this new challenge and learn new things, and had a blast doing it. Got to a point though where I realized I was a little bit out of my depth. Have you ever been there? Have you ever been in a role like that? Or maybe in college, you were in a major like that, where you realized all of a sudden like, maybe this is not actually the path that's going to be best for me long term. Like, this has been a great path for the length of time that it is, but it's maybe time to adjust. Well, that's what happened with me. Incredible company. I still will recommend that people go there. I cannot wait to refer people that I meet that need IT services to go to this company because they are just that great. That said, I didn't feel like I was the best person for that role for them or for me. And so it was time to step aside. And a great opportunity came along, and I'm so excited about it. An opportunity to continue to work with local businesses and clients, but in a more creative field. I'll be starting that in a few weeks, and I can't wait to tell you all about it. I'm working with a new team, and I think it's going to be a better long-term fit and a better pivot for me overall. So I am excited to tell you about that. But last week I talked a lot about one of my favorite books and authors. Robin Sharma is the author. The book is The 5 a.m. Club. Now, I have an audio version of this book, which is what I listened to first. I have a hardback copy of this book, and I have a paperback copy of this book that has all kinds of tabs in it. So much so, too, that I even purchased one of Robin Sharma's introductory courses and did a little bit of personal study on goal setting back in January. And what I have found is I opened that journal back up over the last couple of weeks, and it has allowed me to revisit goal setting. And mid-year, we talked about it last week, is a great time to do that because sometimes you need to reevaluate and pivot. And that's where I have found myself this year. So I am looking back at my notes. And one thing that I want to share, I may have shared this last week too, but it's something that I learned from Robin Sharma. He said, clarity precedes mastery. Look for the clarity, right? Seek clarity. Clarity is power, is what another one of my favorite success mentors, Darren Hardy, says. Clarity is power. And it truly is. When you have clarity, like Robin Sharma says, it precedes mastery. It helps you know where you're going. So goal setting, journaling, reevaluating, all of that is key. And these are some of the things that I have been doing over the last few weeks. I love these keystone habits that he talks about. Waking up early, calibrating your mind first thing. This is something that I do. I don't know that I'm officially a member of the 5 a.m. club, but at least 3 days a week, I am up before 5 a.m. and I am working out at 5:45. I haven't quite got down his 20-20-20 method yet. If you've read the book, you know what I'm talking about. It's like 20 minutes on your brain and 20 minutes on your heart and then 20 minutes physical. I do a lot more than 20 minutes physical in the morning. It's more like 45 minutes to an hour workout, but it's similar. I've adjusted it and adapted it for my lifestyle so that I am taking care of my body. I am hitting those 4 categories we talked about last week. The heart set, mindset, soul set, health set. I'm hitting those each day, and it makes such a huge difference. We've talked about gratitude journaling before. That's totally in alignment with his teachings. He also talks about joy, and this came up a couple weeks back if you listened to my episode about Gabby Bernstein's first 4 chapters of The Universe Has Your Back. Seeking joy. I believe in the study that I've done and reading these authors and the other personal development work that I've done, that leaning into joy, that is clarity. Because why are we here, right? We're here to love people. We're here to experience joy. We experience pain too. If we didn't experience pain, we wouldn't have context for joy and pleasure, right? But lean into the joy. Look for it. If you're looking for pain and suffering, you will find it. But if you look for joy, you will also find joy. And if you lean into gratitude, it certainly helps you find the joy for sure. So just a few tips. I love that he talks about celebrating your daily wins because those are micro wins. Those small daily improvements are what build your life over time. You don't think about it, but man, another great earworm of his, another great quote to write down: consistency is the mother of mastery. Consistency is the mother of mastery. Habits compound. So everything that we find easy was once hard. Think about that for a minute, man. You know, I've been thinking about that a lot as I made this career pivot, as I made this choice, because I thought, is this just something that I could put more time into and it would get easier and get better and would be more fulfilling and a part of my soul's purpose? Or do I need to pivot and look for something that might be challenging at first? It might be hard at first, but it does get easier and it does feel more fulfilling and it does give me more joy and help light me up. For me, in this particular situation, it was time to pivot. But think about that. Are there things in your life that you find easy now that you once found hard? And what can you do now that might be hard at first, but it's going to give you great success or give you some gains as it gets easier? I'm thinking like working out, for example. I lift weights 3 days a week. And when I first started lifting, I was lifting lighter weights. But each day that I go in, I try to either do one more rep than I did last week or go up on weights and do comparable number of reps, right? Because that was hard last week, but it's a little bit easier this week, right? And I'm gaining strength as I do it. Same thing can happen in our daily life with our daily habits, like drinking water. How much water do you drink a day? Are you drinking soda? Could you swap one soda for one bottle of water or one glass of water a day? Things like that. It's building your strength muscle there, building that water strength muscle just by making one simple switch. Hard at first. You might not like it. It might be uncomfortable, but it's going to get easier and you'll probably start to crave the water more over time, right? Another great quote that he shares from Billie Jean King: pressure is a privilege. Where in your life do you have pressure that is a privilege? I can think of a few places in my life for sure. Thinking about hard work and pressure being a privilege, challenges are fulfilling and rewarding. Think about the things that are most rewarding in your life, things that you are most proud of. Were they easy or were they hard? Did they require extra effort? Did they require grit, toughness, struggle? These are some good mid-year thoughts, right? And I love this. Enjoy the process. Fall in love with practice. There is a great moment in Ted Lasso. I can't remember which episode it is, but he's giving Jamie a hard time. I think it might be season 1, where Jamie doesn't want to go to practice. He says he's sick or hurt or something. And Ted is just like giving him a really, really hard time about practice. He wants to participate in the game, but he doesn't want to go to practice. And man, practice is where it happens. Practice is like working out. It's where you build those muscles. It's where you gain the strength so that when something is on the line, like a game or a competition, that muscle memory is there and it's easy. It's hard at practice, so it's easy in a game, right? Life is not that different. If you can't tell, I was raised in sports. Another thing, self-leadership principle that I love is about keeping promises to yourself and others. Be meticulous with your word. I think for a lot of people, myself for sure, it's easier to keep promises to other people than to ourselves sometimes. So I'll just use the example of working out. It's a promise that I've kept to myself, but I do have accountability partners. And without those accountability partners, it would have been easier for me to not have kept that promise. And I do miss days. I go more often than I don't. And even when I miss, I get right back on track, right? So it's that consistency again. Consistency is the mother of mastery. I love that. What else precedes mastery? Clarity. So just a few quotes for you today on ways to just elevate your life a little bit, Small wins, shifting priorities. It's summer. It's a good time to reevaluate. It's a good time to shift. And it's a good time to just, take a minute and go, we're halfway through the year. Where do I want to be December 31st? Are the goals I set in January still attainable? Do I need to adjust them? Have I already crushed them? Maybe you're already crushing it. I've got several places I need to reevaluate. Excited about the new career step, excited about that, but I've got some podcast goals. I've got some things that I want to do a little differently, a few shifts that I want to make before December 31st. I've got some health goals that I need to recalibrate because I've gotten off track over the last few months, right? Lots of little shifts. And as I'm making them, I plan to share them. Hopefully this is encouraging to you and you can see that certainly not perfect, absolutely a work in progress, but always looking to be a work in progress. Always looking to do just a little more, just a little better. making those small changes. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I hope that some of this was fulfilling for you, encouraging for you, and I hope you'll join me next week. The Celebrating Women podcast wants to hear from you. Email us a voice message to celebratingwomenpodcast@gmail.com. We would love to hear your story or the story of an incredible woman you know. Become part of the conversation on social media. Facebook.com/celebratingwomenpodcast. On Instagram, search Celebrating Women Podcast. The Celebrating Women podcast has been presented by Hand & Stone Massage and Facial Spa in Tyler, Texas. Book your appointment today. Stop by the spa in Cumberland Shopping Center or online at handandstonetyler.com. Support the show for as little as $3 per month at celebratingwomenpodcast.buzzsprout.com or visit our show notes. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to subscribe to the Celebrating Women podcast.